Hey guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Vish and this is my, I guess I can't say weekly update because it's been 3 weeks, but this is my reading update so far. So this weekly update would span from the last one till 11th of October. I do have a, I guess, pretty big life update that I'll get into later, but let's get into the books that I've read so far. Okay, so the first book I read was Rage of Dragons by Evan Winter. This is the September ShowsMovies pick, and half of us loved it, half of us did not like it. And I'm in the middle because I didn't love it, I just liked it. I gave this a 6.7 out of 10, which translates to a very high 3-star actually. Normally I do like a revenge-centric story, but this one could do more with more perspectives, basically, because we're only following Tao. And that got a little bit old because Tao has this like mindset of just kill and revenge, and that's it. So it's a bit frustrating to see, but I do understand that's the whole point of the story, obviously, because Tao is not supposed to be likable. I also do really like the world it is set in and the magic system, because the magic system is essentially these women who have the ability to channel energy from this demon realm called Ishihogo, and they take that energy and they can do various things. They can basically call down dragons. They can use that energy and transfer to a warrior and make that warrior stronger, faster than other warriors. They can also use that energy to send, I guess, mental messages as well. It's just very, very fascinating, and I wish we get more of that. But because we're in Tao's head, it's very focused on the revenge, so we didn't really get more of the magic system. We did get like a basic explanation of it, but hopefully in the second book we can get more information about the world. The next book I picked up was The House of Dragons by Jessica Cloos. This is a YA fantasy, and it's also part of a secret TBR that I'm doing, which I won't say because I haven't finished it, but I actually really enjoyed this. When it says House of Dragons, there are actually dragons in this, which is one of the reasons why I really enjoyed this book. I think I can safely say it's not your typical YA book. It does have some very dark elements in it, which I was very surprised to see. It's essentially about these 5 characters who are pitted against each other in a trial, and the winner will become the emperor. Essentially, that is the story. But obviously, it veers into something else. Spoilers, can't say, but I did really like the direction it went. I gave this a 7.9 out of 10, which is a 4 stars. I really did enjoy this. So if you haven't read this, definitely pick it up because it is a fun ride, and if you want dragons, they definitely do have dragons in here, and they're, I guess, yeah, they're definitely pertinent to the plot, so definitely pick this up. After that, I kind of wanted to catch up on my arcs. So I went through the list I have on NetGalley, and the first one I picked up was Lola, A Ghost Story. This is a graphic novel that is set in the Philippines, and it deals a lot with grief and the Filipino mythology, which I really enjoyed. I gave this book a 6.9 out of 10, which is a 3-star. Because it's a graphic novel, it didn't give me more than what I wanted, because the story was interesting and I didn't really have enough time to get to know the character and sympathize with his grief. So it was just okay, but I did really, really enjoy the Filipino mythology. So if you're really interested in that, definitely pick this up because it's just like a fun, quick read. Well, not fun because it deals with grief, but it's a really good book to read, and it's really informative. And the next arc I read was Snug. This was so adorable. It's basically like this, I don't want to say memes, but it's sort of like a collection of memes about relationships, and I definitely relate to this because my relationship is definitely like this in the book. When I kept reading it, I showed it to Sam multiple times and he cracked up laughing as well. We both really liked it. For what it is, I gave it a 9.4 out of 10, which is a 5-star. It's just so relatable and so adorable. It was just really fun and really relatable. I loved it. The next 2 books are actually DNFs, and they're both arcs actually, because I was trying to finish my arcs. So the first one that I DNF was The Subjects by Sarah Hopkins. Sarah Hopkins is actually an Australian author, which I didn't know before going into this. I DNF this as about, I think, 20%. I did not like the writing style, unfortunately. It was It took me out of the story and it was really hard to read at times. Didn't vibe with the writing style. I couldn't get into it. So hence the DNF. But if you're interested in reading this, definitely pick this up. It's already out because obviously I'm very late with my arcs, but it's already out if you want to read it. It's basically about a boy who is a drug dealer and he got caught, and when he is on trial, he gets sent to this facility. It's not jail, it's just like a facility. But this facility kind of has other kids, and I think there's experimentation going on, and obviously you'll find out what this is and why they're there. So I was definitely intrigued. The premise is definitely very unique and interesting, but I just couldn't get with the writing style. And the next book I DNF'd was The Midnight Bargain by C.L. Polk. Again, with this, I DNF'd at about 10 or 20%. I did not like the writing style at all. It was very long-winded and it had like a lot of run-on sentences, which I do not like. It was very hard to read because I kept going back and rereading the sentence over and over again to try and understand what she's trying to say. Another criticism that I had was, this is a YA fantasy book or an adult fantasy, I'm not too sure, but it is a fantasy book. But it's very heavy on the contemporary side compared to a fantasy, and I do not like that. Because I didn't get too far, all I know is it's about this girl who lives in a, I guess, women's oppressive kind of society, and she has these magical powers, and she is being forced to get married, and once you get married, the women lose their magical powers, and that magical power will be passed down to their child, and then they kind of lose their magical power. Like I said, it's another instance where the premise sounds really interesting, but I just couldn't get into the writing style. Alright, the next book I read is Behind Closed Door by B.A. Paris. I actually buddy read this with Sam and Abby. I'll link Abby's channel down below. And I don't think Sam has an Instagram. I'm not too sure. But, oh, different Sam, by the way. Not my Sam. It's a different Sam. Sam and Abby are from the Shells Facebook Club. And we read this, and I gave it a 3-star while they gave 2 stars for this book. So what I really liked about this is the anxiety and the stressfulness that comes with reading this. And also it is horrifying. Very, very horrifying. So because of that, I gave it 3 stars because hello, it's a thriller. I meant to feel that way. And I think what all 3 of us really agreed is that there was a lot of suspense and anxiousness, but there was no twist. So we kept waiting and waiting and waiting for a twist, and it didn't happen. And we were very, very disappointed in that. And I think we gotta stop doing that. We gotta stop expecting twists to happen in thrillers, because that will lead to disappointment. But I did actually enjoy this because it was very, very fast-paced. We read this in like 3 days. I don't think I should tell you what this book is about because I think everyone who wants to read this should go in blind. I'm just gonna say it's definitely a domestic thriller, so if you're not interested in domestic thrillers, there's no drama or anything, which is what I liked. I don't like domestic thrillers that have more drama than the thriller. This one definitely has the thriller aspect. So those are the books that I read so far, and what I'm currently reading is Jade City by Fonda Lee. I'm actually 80% through the book. I have it on my Kindle, and I am really liking this. This is essentially a fantasy family drama, but mafia. Jade City is a Asian-inspired fantasy, and is set in this country called Kakan, and basically in this country, we have 2 rival clans called the Mountain and No Peak. And these clans basically control Jade. And Jade can only be used by Greenbones. And Greenbones are warriors, basically. So the Jade amplifies their abilities. So they have strength, they move faster, they can deflect, they have perception, that kind of stuff. One day there is this drug called SN1, and people basically take this drug to have that Jade strength and Jade power. It's just a mimic of a Jade because only Greenbones can wear Jade, like other people can't. They don't have the ability and the training to use Jade, but they do want the power of Jade, so they use the SN1 drug, which is illegal. So that's essentially what the story is about. I am really enjoying this. The writing style is great. The characters are phenomenal. The characters is what makes this story. If you don't like the characters, I don't know if you would like the story because The characters what make the story, and also it's very, very political. Like I said, it's a mafia kind of story. There is a plot, but this book is just like a very smooth ride through all the drama and all the conflict. But it's also very fast-paced, and it's also very stressful at the same time of it being cruise of a read. It's very, very complicated. But I'm really, really enjoying this. It's not a 5-star read, it's more like a 4 for me, because I'm not loving it, but I really, really like it. Especially the characters. There's so much complexity to them, there's so much layers to them. The writing style as well is what makes this book, because I have never been bored throughout this entire book. It's just been go, 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 and I love it. And next week I'll be basically reading the Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. I'm buddy reading this with Charmaine, Sharon, and Geraldine, and they're all from the ShowsMovies book club. We're reading this, actually, I think all of them have finished except me. I haven't even started. I am sorry, Charmaine. I've just been busy and reading Jade City. But I will be reading this next week, and I will also going to be continuing to Jade War by Fondly, because I'm really liking Jade City. I want to know more, and I want to learn more about these characters and this world. It's just so great. Okay, looks like I've been filming for a long time now, so I'm gonna quickly go through my book haul portion. I'm gonna give you a Kindle book haul, physical book haul, and also an ARC book haul, because I got a few from NetGalley and I thought I'd share with you. I won't be giving too much information about these because I want to wrap it up. Okay, first book that I got from Kindle is The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie. This is the first book of the First Law trilogy. Joe Abercrombie, an icon. Everyone loves him. He does characters best, apparently. He's the king of grimdark. Very excited to read this. Next book is Vicious by L.J. Shen. This comes highly recommended by Chandler Ainsley. If you don't know her channel, I'll link her down below. She loves L.J. Shen, especially Vicious, and I can't wait to read it. This is a adult romance book, I'm pretty sure. And the next book I bought is Eleanor, Oliphant is Completely Fine by Gail Honeyman. This one is very, very popular. It's about this girl called Eleanor Oliphant, and she's just going through life. This is a literary fiction book, an adult one, I'm pretty sure. And I'm just interested in reading it. I know it's just like a all about life and life lessons kind of thing, and I was like, okay, I'll read it. And plus it was like $1. The next one was Jade City by Fondly. I already talked about this. Please read it. And then the next one I got is The Devil and the Dark Water by Stuart Turton. This is one of my anticipated reads for the year. I thought the premise was absolutely crazy and so good. I think it's like a paranormal kind of fantasy because it takes place on this boat and there's demons and there's a murder mystery, so very, very interested. Next book I got is Nightmare by Chad Nicholas, and this is also a thriller. Not too sure what this is about, but I'll link a few reviews, non-spoiler ones, if you want to check it out. I'll link Alan from the Library of Alexandria. I will link Alex Neves. I will link Leslie from the Nerdy Narrative. Check them all out. And the reviews of this was phenomenal. And because of that, I wanted to read this. Now for ARCs. The first one I got recently was obviously The Midnight Bargain by C.L. Polk. Didn't like it, as I said. The next one I got was The Once and Future Queen by Clara O'Connor. This one's coming out in 21st of January 2021, so I'll be reading this in January, beginning of January or end of December. I just know this one has Arthurian legends in this book, and that sold me because I love Arthurian legend. And the third book I got as an ARC is A Dark and Secret Place by Jen Williams. This is coming out on the 8th of June 2021, so a long ways away for me to read it. But this one sounds really, really interesting. I'm pretty sure this is a thriller. And it's about this girl whose mom just died, and she found out that her mom has been going back and forth via letters with a serial killer in jail. And these letters basically reopen the case because there's new evidence. So this sounds so good and I cannot wait to read this. Alright, let's get to the physical books. The first book I got is The City of Stairs by Robert Jackson Bennett. I recently read Foundry Side and Shorefall, and I absolutely love them. I gave Foundry Side and Shorefall 5 stars. I love Shorefall more than Foundry Side, but I absolutely love those two books. So I thought, why not start on his older series? Also have zero idea what this is about. I'm just going to go in blind. Second book is The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. I already read this last month. I loved it, so I thought I'd get a physical copy for myself. This is so pretty. This is very, very pretty, and I'm so glad I have it for my physical collection. Next book is Stormfront by Jim Butcher. The Dresden Files. Everyone knows this series, and it's just very popular. It's like a classic series that you have to read if you're a fantasy reader. I'm pretty sure there are 16 books now, and this is the first one. But I'm just glad that it's not actually that big. And I'm pretty sure it's also urban fantasy. Yeah, it says Chicago PD, and it's like fantasy, so urban fantasy. So I'm very, very excited to read this and see what I think. Now, the next 2 books is actually pertaining to the announcement that I'm gonna make in a little bit. I got Macbeth and also Turn of the Screw and Other Stories. Alan from Library of Alexandria pointed out that the Turn of the Key might be based on Turn of the Screw, so I'm excited to read this to see if that's actually true. And he already said that this is completely horrifying, so that's another reason why I bought this. Next book is Steel Crow Saga by Paul Kruger. This book is gorgeous. Look at it. It's just so shiny and so nice. But all I know about this is there are fighters, and then they also have like a companion that fights with it. I know it's compared to like Pokemon, like it's Pokemon meets something, so I thought that was pretty cool. That's why I got this. So the next book I got is Theft of Swords by Michael J. Sullivan. This is actually a bind-up of 2 books, I believe. And the first book is called The Crown Conspiracy, and book 2 is called Ebem Parta. That's interesting. So I can't wait to read this. I think we're reading this in Shelf Space as like an unofficial pick for next month, I believe. So very excited to get to this. The next one was, I will admit, completely covered by, but this is Piranesi by Susanna Clark. I mean, look at this gorgeousness. I will show you the inside. Like, without the dust jacket, it's so beautiful. Like, look at this. Look at this. It's beautiful. So yeah, definitely excited to read this. I know it's like a whimsical dark story, kind of like The Starless Sea. It's been compared to that. And the last book I got is Anatomy of a Scandal by Sarah Vaughan. It's a thriller mystery, but I'm pretty sure it follows a court case, and I haven't really read a court case thriller before, so this is definitely going to be my introduction to it, and I'm very, very excited to read it. All right, so now we get to the, I guess, uni kind of section, and this is where I'm gonna have like a little bit of like an announcement. So there's gonna be a really big change for me for study wise. If you don't know, I'm actually currently studying Bachelor of Science, majoring in paramedical science. I'm like going to be a paramedic. So to be honest, I am very, very good at it. My grades are a reflection of that. But I am not interested in doing it as a job. I've been thinking about this or having these doubts for quite a while now, and I've decided to do something different now. It's complete 180, but I'm very, very excited to see where this takes me. And I applied to a really, really good university here in Western Australia, and I got in. And I'm so, so proud of myself and excited. So basically, I will be changing my degree from paramedical science, and I'm going to be doing English and literary studies, minoring in digital marketing. I'm very, very excited to do this. I think it's definitely going to make me more happier. Hence why I got Macbeth, and also I guess Turn of the Screw, because it's actually required reading and I'm getting ahead of the required reading. That's just the type of student I am, apparently. So as you can see, I'm very, very excited. I definitely don't regret doing paramedicine and then now changing, because I have learned a lot from my previous degree. I'm actually still doing this degree. I don't want to just drop out and ruin my GPA. So I'm still going through this semester, and I'm starting my, I guess, new degree next year in March. So yeah, I'm very, very, again, excited. And hopefully I can document my journey through this channel with you guys. All right, enough of that sappiness, but let's get into the TV shows and movies very quickly. Me and Sam are on season 7 of How I Met Your Mother. Not long till the end. We are absolutely loving it. Sam has actually rated How I Met Your Mother higher than Friends, which is very, very surprising, but I understand his reasons. It's basically because How I Met Your Mother has more of a flow and journey and a story to it, because there's all these hidden jokes and just continual jokes as well. It's just really, really cool. And Friends, I guess in his words, is just like a normal comedy sitcom, but it's still really, really funny. But he prefers How I Met Your Mother, which is fine. For me, I think Friends and How I Met Your Mother are on the same level because I actually watched them for the first time at the same time. So I think I watched Friends first and then How I Met Your Mother afterwards, and I really like both of them, so I can't really choose. Also, we have called time of death for loss because I am not interested, Sam's not interested, and because of that I actually looked to see how it ended, and I was like so confused, which is fine because obviously I didn't watch it all the way through, but it's just whatever. I'm just glad I stopped watching it, to be honest. Movie wise, I've actually been rewatching a lot of the Marvel movies. I'll actually list the movies that I watched because I didn't watch all of them. The reason why I'm doing it is because we're hosting a Marvel trivia night on ShowsMovies, and I'm the host this time because I'm a Marvel fanatic. Yeah, so I watched the first Iron Man, first Captain America, Captain Marvel, Iron Man 2, first Thor, first Avengers, Captain America 2, Avengers Age of Ultron, first Guardian of the Galaxy, Captain America Civil War, Doctor Strange, Black Panther, Thor Ragnarok, Avengers Infinity War, and right now actually I am in the middle of Endgame. Funny story, I actually watched Endgame when it first came out, and since then I haven't been able to bring myself to rewatch it. So I'm rewatching it for the first time and it's super emotional, and I don't know why I did this to myself. If you know what happens in Avengers and you know who my favorite character is, like, you know. You know. Anyway, that's all for my reading life update. Let me know what you've read so far. Let me know what movies or TV shows you've watched. Let me know what your favorite Marvel movie is. I would love to know that, actually. Let me know what's your favorite Marvel movie and who's your favorite character. I would love to know in the comments down below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, consider doing so. And thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in my next one. Bye!